birthday stream. I'm gonna just real quick add a little thing to the stream. Let me fucking find it. I also need to, just fucking, there it is. A little birthday hat for me. Yay! And I need to send out live notifications so people actually know that I'm live. Do 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 do. Babe. All right. I am looking forward to getting into this. I hope I actually updated my stream info properly. All right, let me adjust some of these settings because it seems like it's a little loud. Let's just lower that a bit. There we go. That should be good. Controls, camera sensitivity, camera drift. I don't know what that is. Display, brightness, contrast, HUD transparency. High graphic settings. Alright. We should be all set for birthday stream. I am looking forward to playing this. So let's get right into it, because we're going to be ending... It's just going to be a couple hours stream. It's not going to be a full one. Happy birthday, Grandma. How's the internet in the nursing home? Oh, it's so nice. It's extremely good. It's great internet. Hi, Teeps. Hello. They thought of the faraway grave on the plain. They thought of the comrade who came not again. They lifted their glasses and sadly they said, "We drink to the name of the mate who is dead." Henry Lawson. It's too bloody damp down here. I know we're underground, but I don't suppose there's any windows we could open. There's a ventilation duct in here somewhere. Maddie, mind opening it up? Get some fresh air circulating? Other end's blocked right now. There's a dumpster sitting on top of it. You'll have to grin and bear it. Mm-mm. Can we hurry this up? Calm your farm, old man. You're well aware it takes a while to set up. I don't appreciate your tone. Sorry. At the very least, can we turn some lights on? With all the rubbish you got scattered around the place, I'd like to at least know where I'm putting my feet. Ashley, would you mind? Thanks. You're more organized than last time, I see. Practice makes perfect. Hey, Maddie. How much more wire do we need? I think that's enough. Great. Now, Che? What's up, little P? I found you a chair. Ah, thank you. So, this whole thing, surely it's not legal, yeah? Maddie wasn't clear on that. Yes, the council found it confronting. For good reason, I suppose. Because it utterly upsets the natural order, mate. It's not just bureaucracy. Shush you. Most rules can be bent, after all. And Maddie has a particular fascination with breaking rules, as I'm sure you've realized. Hey, don't give her all the credit. Bah. Is this related to her gambling for time? Mm-hmm. So, the transfer was the same sort of magic we're doing now, yes. Small scale, though. Doing on a larger scale requires a bit more preparation. The council successfully suppressed all available information about it, though. For good reason. What happens if something goes wrong? Well, you don't tend to mess it up more than once. Or try it again after you fail, for that matter. Stubborn scholars notwithstanding. What would you even call this sort of magic, then? Question's irrelevant, because it's banned. Extremely cool? That's what I call it. Well, by definition, it's a conduit ritual. But hey, we're among friends, so we can call it what it really is. Necromancy. Getting achievements for watching a cutscene. That's what I like to see. Beef up my gamer score. From your hazy memories, a certain word calls out to you. Necromancy. You tried desperately to remember what it meant. Necromancy. Ooh. Oh, I click on it. Death. Okay. Oh, little skull. This fragment of a memory stays with you. Piece together the past. Remember what transpired. And never forget you are... Scattered practice, bureaucracy, fascination, disheveled, blenders. I definitely couldn't click any of those. I tried. Oh. First person mode. Oh, it's a walking simulator. I could do with a little more mouth sensitivity. Nice weather. Press and hold click to inspect armor. Okay. Oh. Patrons. I was trying to read that. Maddie's rules. 1. We welcome both living and dead. Patrons will be served in the order they arrived. Don't ask who's alive. It's rude. If someone wants you to know, they'll tell you. The dead have 24 hours to spend within the premises before moving on. Strictly enforced. No, we don't have Wi-Fi. Report broken items and other anomalies to staff. We can't clean up your broken glass or spatial rift if we don't know about it. Don't feed the Eidolons. They can't eat, and offering them food just reminds them of that cruel fact. Gotcha. Don't feed the Eidolons. Oh, nice little coffee house with a library. Love to see that. The Terminal. Carlton, Victoria, Australia, 3053. Excerpts from online reviews. Pretty unremarkable coffee. Barista speaks Chinese, but exclusively uses it to mock people to their faces. I am very self-conscious about my top hat now. Observed little girl running around cafe with knife, unsupervised. Came down with the deepest sense of ennui after visiting. Was rudely told to stop being a big dweebus after complaining about the burnt taste in the coffee. The coffee's some of the best I ever had. 5 stars. Disclosure, I have no taste buds. Hey, mate, you right? Ugh. You can see me? Clear as day, yeah? What can I get you? I've been walking around for hours. Oh, thank you for the follow, Seraphima. Or maybe it just felt like hours. It can be hard to judge time when you're wandering around aimlessly. Nobody was talking to me. I don't even know how I got in here. I think you'll find it was via the front door. Okay. Right. Where am I? This, dearly departed, is the terminal. Carlton's finest. Departed? They say our coffee's to die for. So, I don't really know how to go about this. Ask me anything, man. You're not the first disheveled dead guy to drop in. I'm sure you won't be the last. This guy has the look of someone who's been through a lot. So literally disheveled. What does everyone else ask? They generally ask, what does everyone else ask? Shit. And they always say that. Then there's the embarrassed silence. Maddie is normally one to enjoy peace and quiet, but some silences are just awkward. Alright. I get it. You make a habit of bullying everyone who comes through, or just the pitiful ones? It's almost exclusively the latter. I guess that's consistent. I always felt like people saw me as a pitiful guy. Sorry, I was actually just kidding there. No, you're right. I'm a fucking sad sack. Boss hated me. Family hated me. Work sucked. Just like everything else about me. Now I'm never gonna have a chance to make things better for myself. That's it. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. Hey, come on. Now I'm sitting in a cafe for dead people falling apart in front of the barista. Mate, pull it together. Number 1 rule. No breakdowns in the cafe, please. I promise, man, you are okay. I know how it is. Are you dead? No, and I don't know if you read the rules outside, but... God, I did. Yes, can't even get that right. In that case, you'll also have read that you have 24 hours left before you gotta move on to the next place. And I don't think you want to send them having one big, long, extended panic attack. 24 hours? Shit. What am I saying is, everything's okay. Just take some deep breaths. We'll sort this out. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a fuss. Cafe's empty. It's not like I got anything else going on. Don't worry about it. Are you sure? I'm kind of a burden. You're not. Promise. Happy birthday. Thanks, Spear. Chin up, mate. Let me tell you about the building. It's got some cool history. So the first time I came here was about 4 years ago. And that's why you should never, ever, ever serve a martini to a dead biker, even if he specifically asks for one. Thank you for the subscription, Spear. Appreciated. Huh. Out of all the possible ways to react to that, that's one I certainly didn't expect. Yeah, no point in seeking eternal vengeance if you're gonna have to leave in a few hours anyway. Kinda strips it of meaning, you know? There's no way to tell whether you even care once you cross over. But then again, maybe I'm just being a buzzkill about it. Shouldn't go around policing people's reactions to things. I'm still wrapping my head around all this. Death, that is. Feels weird to say it, doesn't it? Weird. Yeah, that's the word. So you said most people don't ever find out how they died before they pass, even if they got murdered or something? Yup. Most people don't die from murder. It's mostly sickness or old age or lawnmower accidents. Well, they call them accidents, but really loads of lawnmowers are possessed by evil spirits. That said... Alright, hold on just a moment. You can't just drop that and move on. Possessed lawnmowers? Seriously? Anything with spinning blades attracts them. Garden equipment, blenders, power saws. People scoff at the idea of a robot uprising like we haven't spent decades arming our machines with blades. They're a real pain in the ass. Gotta do at least 1 or 2 exorcisms a month on the coffee grinder. See, that's why you get a burr grinder instead of a bladed grinder. Not only does it provide a more consistent grind, also doesn't draw as many, like, evil spirits. That's wild. Oh. A little coffee walking robot guy. So I know I'm breaking the rules again, but how many people in here are dead? Yeah. It's a cafe for dead people. Does that mean it's everyone? Or are some of these people just really into ghost cafes? A little column A, little column B. Plenty of mortals come through, but this is one of the only crossing points in the country, so we get a lot of your type. That's also why the rent is so high. Landlords. The original rent seekers. Because those vampires who own the place know we get a lot of foot traffic. Literal vampires? No, like boomers, landlord class. Ah, same thing, I guess. So to answer your question, there are 9 customers in here right now. Out of those 9, yourself included, I'd say 4 or 5 of them are just passing through on their way to the next place. How can you tell? Once you've worked here for a while, or you get a sort of sixth sense for this kind of thing. Gotcha. Speaking of sixth senses, I've got one for trouble. You have 2 sixth senses? Hello, Ashley. Ashley had adopted the cafe staff a couple years back, much in the same way a puppy adopts a squeaky toy. She kind of ferocious... He's like me for real, Lamau. I'm vibing with Maddie a lot too, but that just might be because we both run cafes with a lot of ghosts in them. The art style reminds me of A Hat in Time. Yeah, it really does. She was kind of ferociously smart kid who absorbed information like a sponge, but only used it to cause trouble. Today, she was accompanied by the stench of motor oil, and brought with her a look that said, "I'm an invincible genius." Ashley has fancied herself a genius ever since that day that Maddie invited her to become a spunky sidekick. She was mostly right about that one. Alright, I know that look. Spit it out. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Cut the crap, kid. What are you after? I'm busy dealing with a customer. I'm not really needing any attention. Shut up, Kishan. I need an extra pair of hands, and none of my Ashlings are around to help. Don't you have any clamps? We got a bunch for your birthday last month. Aging a year just means that you're 1 year closer to death. An odd thing to celebrate. It also means you survived another year, so like... check out the hat. They're all being used for other very important things. They were not. Pretty sure I saw one on the table upstairs earlier. No, I really need a helper. Ashley, I'm busy. Please? Hey, I could probably... Please? I could... What? Come on, Ashley, you gotta let us work. I'm not gonna get anything done here if you have to keep going upstairs to find the screwdrivers you misplaced. Trying to improvise a screwdriver is a good way to end up with stripped screws. Use the right tool for the job. True. Every time I run into a stripped screw, I'm just like, motherfucker, what? How hard is it? But, hey, no dice. What about Che? He can help me. What is this? Teeps, what is this box you've sent that's turning into sparkles? But what about... He's emptying the dishwasher. Sound familiar? It should, because I told you to do that an hour ago. It's really no trouble. Oh, why don't I take this guy? It's not a box, it's a cube, idiot. A box is a cube! Fool! Well, it can be a rectangular prism, too, but, like, they can be cubes. Only thing he's busy with is being dead. Hey, come on. Ashley, I'm not going to argue with you about this. I'm sure you would rather relax than be bossed around. Also, manners. We've talked about this. You got to be more respectful in front of customers. Please. I'm happy to go upstairs. Really, it's fine. I don't have anything else going on. I'm super dead. I'm cool with it. And I am Kishan, very dead guy.
Slayer.
Happy to help. Oh fuck, Slayer. Nobody in YouTube land can see Slayer, unfortunately. I'm blocking him with the hat. Elf Child has been officially gatekept. You sure? I can just send her back upstairs. Promise. It's fine. I'll just sit around and be a pain otherwise. Perfect. Come on, peon. In follower hierarchy, peons are one level below assistant, one level above minion. He will be seen. Okay, he's free now. We've work to do. Ashley wasn't getting enough attention, but with Maddie's newfound responsibilities, some sacrifices had to be made. That meant the kid would just have to occupy herself more often than not. She still felt guilty as hell about it, and... You know, I reckon this place needs more plants. Ugh! Jesus Christ, Che! You're gonna give me a heart attack, you old bastard! What's on your mind? Head in the clouds as per usual. Did I look like I was thinking weighty thoughts? Excruciatingly so. What's going on? Nothing important, just my resting bitch face. Nope. This one's different. How so? Your facial expression is reminding me of that time you tried to fistfight that cosplayer. So what is this game about? It's about running a cafe that serves both living and dead patrons. And that's all. That's literally all I know. Have you baristaed yet? I am baristaing. I just did barista. I served that guy a coffee. Cosplay is short for costume play, and bad things can happen when play suddenly becomes serious business. That is true. Oh, the samurai? The one who barged in waving his gift store katana around and demanding satisfaction after I refused to put 15 shots in his coffee? Was it good coffee? According to the reviews, it was extremely average coffee. Weirdly specific. What's it look like? Looks like you just got threatened with thousand-fold Nippon steel. It's a precious memory, so I remember it very clearly. A mix of deep disgust. People with high disgust sensitivity seldom do well in a kitchen environment. Somehow, Maddie manages. A whole bunch of derision, and a tiny pinch of pity. Yep, that's me. What a mood. You suck at coffee, you will never survive. I didn't do it. It was Maddie. I'm just watching, basically, at the moment. You alright though? Real talk. I'm fine. I'm actually fine, or let's not talk about it, fine. The second one. Pharaoh. Offer's still open if you like to talk things out. In the meantime, sorry, can I grab that tea towel? I want coffee, but I don't actually want to make it. Well, step up to the counter, Tapes. I'm streaming, so I'm not making coffee right now, but I'm sure Pearl will help you. Oh, yeah, here you go. So, did the dishes need hand washing, or... I'm sure I told Ashley to empty the dishwasher earlier. Nah, thing's busted. Door latch won't close, might call the repairman. Ashley shouldn't wash it by hand anyway. Her arm would corrode, so I did it. Not a problem. Yeah, fair enough. So like I mentioned, it'll need a repair unless you want to let Ashley at it. Some people remain stubbornly defiant in the face of planned obsolescence. Replacements are for quitters. Pearl would knock the coffee maker off the counter like a good cat should. She might do that. I'd call the repairman myself, but our landline stopped working last week. Popping in to say happy birthday. Thank you, Cyanide Fox. I appreciate you stopping by. We have a landline? Yes. Ancient technology. An inelegant tool for a less civilized age. Only works when you pay the bill, though. Ellie is also here. Oh, fuck, Ellie is here for birthday. I don't know if it'd be cheaper to get it repaired or just to buy a new one and give Ashley the old one for parts. The costs are pretty close, all things considered. Hey, don't work too hard. You'll worry yourself into an early grave. Hey, you spent 50 years digging holes. If you want to see a lot of Earth, you can become a globetrotter. Or you can pick up a shovel. That sounds pretty tough work, old man. Ow, old man. For your information, I'm barely 170-ish. I'm failing to see the inaccuracy. It was during the literal gold rush. Everyone was doing it. Only thing different about me is that I eventually started digging up things more interesting than gold. Only kind of gold I'm interested in is brown gold. Onions and peaches, Kate? True. Coffee. I mean coffee. Shut up. Hey, so... I know it's another stress on the stress pile, but I think we need to put in an order for more kitchenware soon. Ugh. Yeah, another thing that costs money. We're beginning to run out of cutlery, though. Summary of Offensive Acts 1988, Section 11C. A person must not, without reasonable excuse, proof of which lies on the person, have in his or her custody a knife in a public place or a school. Yeah, they were just bearded dragons, but, like, they were, like, uber poisonous for some reason. It keeps disappearing. Not sure where. I don't know how long I can wait before we get more. Oh, a little ashling. I don't know if we can afford that this month. Just, you know, everything's a bit too pricey right now. Doesn't help that the coffee cartels keep pushing prices up. I don't think the importer is part of a cartel. They're quite nice. I've seen photos of their kids. You ever spoken to them? They're obviously criminals with the prices they charge. The worst kinds of criminals are the ones who are the kind who operate within the bounds of legality. We know this. Wholesale my ass. And yet we keep buying from them. Well, yeah, the beans are good, man. It's just everything else on top of them that's stressing me out. Ah, yes. Also know Stanley's dumbass piece of shit pig-stealing great-great-grandfather? True. I'll happily accept the blame for some of that. It's fine. You don't have to. I know it's all on me. I just gotta figure out how to pay everything off. Everything. And everyone. The shitty Council of Death and the doubly shitty time debt we owe to them are the last things I want to think about right now. I've lost enough sleep over it already. Hey, I'm here to help. I'm worried about you, you know? You've had a lot of responsibility dropped on you in a very short period of time. Maddie's been saddled with the great responsibility. She's still waiting for the great power that's supposed to come with it. And I can't help but feel a little bit culpable for that. I know. Yeah, I know. And you, I can't thank you enough. Shh. It's alright. Hold yourself together. We'll figure it out as a team, just like we always have. I just don't want to deal with it, you know? I get it. And I don't want you to feel like I'm imposing or interfering too much. I can't believe the afterlife also has an IRS. Does that really surprise you? I know the cafe's yours now, and even though things are a bit much at the moment, I know I keep saying this, Maddie, but I don't know how much time we'll have to deal with all this before things start falling apart. Things are already falling apart. But you're gonna have to face reality at some point. You know that, right? Che, oh my god, yes, I know. I don't need any more reminders from you. Back off, man. The council's always on my mind. I can't escape them. My best is all I can do, okay? Just because you're my best friend, and my old boss, and my mentor, doesn't mean I need you preaching at me about how I need to deal with my problems. Because they're my problems now, not yours. Alright, no worries. I'll give you some space. Might go check on Ashley. Have you seen her recently? She's upstairs. Dragged a customer up there talking about clamps or something. I'd better go rescue them then. Be back in a bit. Maddie, Che has been double dead for 30 years. The accident wasn't your fault. You have to let them go. Shit, he's right, isn't he? Birthday stream! Hey, Praiser. What's up? We really could use some more plants. So we're gonna strap a big old steak knife to it and make them fight each other. I love it. This is gonna be great. I want to build something that gets put on the TV show Rope Battle Royale with flamethrowers on it. You're not gonna put one on this little guy, are you? A flamethrower? Probably not. But I want you to record the fight on my phone so we can send it to the producers. Murder Roomba? Exactly. Producers have a real thirst for schlock. Yeah, sure thing. Let's get the knife attached. Pass me those zip ties. Zip ties! And the knife. Knife! And my coffee. Are you sure? Who even gave you that? Coffee! Damn it. It's empty. My coffee is empty, Kishan. The world is beginning to vibrate. Maybe it's your cup that maybe it's good that your cup runneth empty, yeah? I think my cup needs to runneth with more espresso in it. How many shots did you put in there? Too many, Kishan. But did anyone ask Icarus how many shots of espresso he had? Yeah, I'm reading a book about Icarus. Imagine being Daedalus and watching your son die doing the exact thing you told him not to do. He flew to the sun. I'm cultured. You're gonna lurk because spoilers, but you have fun? Well, thank you, Praiser, for stopping by and lurking. In unrelated news, I have a headache. I think you might want to read a little bit more about Icarus. There's a twist ending to that one. I'm holding a knife, Kishan. No spoilers. No spoilers. Promise. Alright, Che, just say hi. Try not to get a knife slung at you this time. Do you know if you put 8 espresso shots in a coffee, you can make 1 coffee into, like, 8 coffees? I did know that, yes. You got this. Ahem. Hey, kids. Ah! Intruder! Ooh. Well, at least it didn't hit him. Kishan! My buddy! My pal! Did I get him? No. You missed. Damn it! But, wait. You threw it on purpose? Extremely on purpose, yes. I'm fine, by the way. Oh, it's just you. It would have been worse if it was someone else? Probably? Unless they're an actual spy, can't come to steal my robot designs. You never know who might be watching. Then it would have been good. Hey, I think I'm crashing. Curb stomp the child, they're defenseless. Ashley can finally be defeated. Oh no. Is she okay? Did I kill her? She'll wake up in about 15 minutes with no ill effects. But you probably shouldn't give her any more coffee. She turns into a real goblin. Not to be confused with the days when she's just a regular gremlin. Oh, she told me that it'd make her immeasurably powerful. I mean, she's not wrong, but, you know, great power, great responsibility, yada, yada, yada. She's 13. Kid's got plenty of energy already. Maybe not the sense of responsibility, though. Yeah, I don't even know how I ended up sitting here attaching knives to robots. She's very convincing. Ashley's persuasiveness is a mystery. It clearly can't be logic, eloquence, or charisma that causes people to do her bidding. You don't have to tell me, mate. She basically lives here. Her parents would kill me if they found out she'd nearly killed me. Pretty good blind throw, though. She makes me proud in the weirdest ways. Huh. Did she learn from the best? She did, but the best definitely wasn't me. She's just annoying until they do what she wants. Yeah, she uses reverse charisma. Maddie's pretty deadly with knives. Loves her flashy tricks. Bad habit, probably. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm being very rude. Name's Che. I used to own this place. Now I just sort of sit around and cause trouble and sometimes have knives thrown at me, I guess. Oh, is it Zoltar time? Are we Zoltaring? Alright, Zoltar. Time for you to interrupt. Zoltar, what do you have to say to us?
Hear your fortune from Zoltar. It is better to keep your mouth shut and be thought a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. And also, my friend, it is wise to be taking good advice when you hear it, no?
I think Zoltar just told me to shut up. To just, like, stop talking. Oh, thanks for the subscription, Holiday. And the happy birthday message. What is this little gremlin you have dancing on my screen? They're so funny. I'm Kishan, and I died today. Something from Gloop. You dare defy Zoltar? Oh, I dare. I defy Zoltar every day by forcing him to dance for beans. He can't dance, but, like, tell fortunes for beans. We need more Zoltar quotes. Yeah, this one has, like, 3. Streamer, shut up. Oh, fuck, the Ashlings are dancing. I'm alive? I'm alive? Oof, we got a loud one here. Oh, be nice. You know it's scary waking up. Big lights coming towards me. I think it's reliving its last moments. Looks like it. Actually, imagine a Zoltar streamer. That would be sick. What is happening? Hello. I do not remember having this many limbs. Join the club, pal. We are reborn in a new image. I see. Big Dayo. I'm Kepler. Nice to meet ya. And I'm Jacoby. I am undefined. I don't know if that name will stick. Its body is made of a milk carton. Should we just call it milk? No, too basic. Imagine if you called me Goon just because I'm made of a goon box. I wouldn't like that at all. Ashley was yelling about someone called Lovelace the other day. That's a good one, I think. How does our new friend feel about it? Acceptable? Excellent. Nice to meet you, Lovelace. The Ashlings, everyone. Give it up for the Ashlings. Ashlings. I still am not 100% sure what's happening. We will name it Skrunkler. Hello, Skrunkler. Do you like your new name, the Skrunkler? Look at you, turning into a responsible human being. During intermissions and at the end of episodes, you can freely explore the terminal. Memories are scattered throughout the terminal that delve into the tales of its patrons. More locations and memories become available as you progress through the main story. A human being. Crucible product reviews. Thinking about alchemy the wrong way. This place is kind of fucked. Why are we in the middle of, like, the scrapyard from Nier Automata? The Fisherman 1. Maddie's fit is kind of insane. She's got, like, a skirt on with a ring of keys, and then she has, like, tails from her shirt hanging out here. She's got, like, this might be an actual dress, and then she's got, like, a hoodie, and then the fishnets with the sneakers. Ashley's Journal 1. Oh, and I can't go up here yet. The red sneakers, yeah. Spirit-resistant quartz crucibles with self-sealing lids. Product description. Heat-resistant up to 1,650 degrees Celsius. It's how you know she's the main character. Yeah, of course. Self-sealing lids from airtight seals around the crucible's ground rim. Highly resistant to corruption and spiritual interference. Clear inner and outer covering allow for easy spotting of cracks or imperfections. Quality suitable for mixing potions and filters. Average rating, 3.5 out of 5 stars. Product reviews, 5 out of 5. I love this. The covering, despite being quartz, has a textured appearance that gives it a silky, smooth feel. Most crucibles feel sterile and cold, but this one makes for a perfect beverage container when entertaining guests. 4 out of 5. The previous crucible set I used when I was inherited from my grandmother, who brought them over from New England. Unfortunately, 2 months at sea were not kind to her spiritware, and her crucibles were filled with tiny cracks and microfractures. that allowed unsightly-looking soot to build up, leaving them stained with hard gray lines everywhere, looking like they were about to crack apart at any moment. She used them for several decades to come, but every time I worked with her and watched them heat up, I was afraid they were constantly on the verge of shattering. One she used to contain a lost Weaver spirit for several days before finding a home for it, and I would get up at night to check the embers under the crucible, and it always unsettled me seeing how fragile the container was. Several times I found myself tempted to tip the crucible over, just seeing how easily it would shatter under my soft touch. Needless to say, this new set is much nicer. They are sterile, and I can keep several of them in my bedroom without feeling unsettled by their presence. Two of the crucibles in my set arrived with small chips in them, but I contacted the manufacturer and they replaced them at no charge. The replacements were express shipped and the process was quick and painless, so great customer service, and they offer replacements up to 1 year. For the price, they can't be beat. 4 out of 5. Owned mine for 2 weeks and it didn't crack. Decent for the price. 5 out of 5. Received mine in the mail this morning and can't wait to try it out. So glad they have finally found someone selling crucibles at a reasonable price. A brand name one costs over $200, which is just outrageous. 1 out of 5. Bought this several weeks ago since it was the cheapest crucible on the site for advertised as spirit resistant. Sing happy birthday to yourself. No, you sing happy birthday for me. I'm working on a filter for my graduate thesis and purchased 100 of these for lab use. My plan was to monitor 100 different animal spirits with different types of plant matter and compare how different biomaterials affected their vigor over a 90-day period. I will not be doing that. Well, fine. The first day I set the first 5 with samples of mugroot, feverfew, ginger, ginseng, and golden seal. I placed them at the crucibles over low heat, 80 Celsius, and left them overnight. And over the next 2 days did the same with all of the remaining crucibles, finishing on a Friday and leaving the lab alone for the weekend. Ugh. When I arrived back on Monday, I knew that something was wrong when I noticed a rain cloud hovering over the door. It's not uncommon for rain clouds to appear at any time of year for any time of day in this part of the country, but it's quite another to find a rain cloud localized entirely within the hallway of your research lab. I braced for the worst, but I guess I should have braced harder. Nothing could have prepared me for the smell when I opened the door. I immediately felt my eyes watering and actually found myself choking. It smelled so bad. I slammed the door shut and went to the basement to grab one of the emergency respirators we keep down there. Unfortunately, the respirator did little to mask the terrible stench inside the lab. I opened the first crucible and saw that it was filled with a tar-like substance, and as studied its ink-black, writhing form, I felt the air sucked out of me, almost like it was trying to drag me into the abyss with it. I threw it onto the floor, and the container shattered, splattering the floor with tar-like substance, which began slowly crawling across the room. I grabbed a fire extinguisher from the wall and sprayed the tar until it was completely covered, and heard what sounded like a sputtering noise, followed by a long gasp and a scream that faded into oblivion. L plus the ratio plus old plus birthday. Yay! Plus you fell off. Woo! After poking at the fire extinguisher spray, whatever was underneath was clearly quenched. I took the remaining crucibles and I placed them in the oven, baked them at a temperature of 1,600 degrees for several hours as I sat alone in the lab, contemplating the cruelty of existence and wondering what my academic advisor would have to say about my thesis project. After several hours of waiting, I opened the oven and checked the contents of the crucibles, revealing nothing but ash. Whatever it was that had been drawn by the spiritual emissions of my lab work, it was gone from my world, but the memory of that day will haunt me for all the remaining days of my life. 1 out of 5. Do not buy this crucible for spirit-related applications. My wife is one of the product designers who worked on this item. The crucibles in this listing came from a manufacturer called Mars Security LLC. Back in 2013, they were some of the best hardware you could get for your money and earned a reputation among hobbyists as a great value for anyone working on a budget. In 2016, they did a survey and found that fewer than 3% of buyers were actually using the crucibles for spirit-related applications and decided they could cut costs by removing the spirit-resistant properties. However, they found that products advertised with updated and ad copy to reflect this didn't sell as well, so they continued using the old product description, which advertises it as spirit-resistant, with the new product line, which is not spirit-resistant. I don't know how they're getting away with this. Apparently, the definitions of what is actually spirit-resistant are legally murky, and the number of people affected is small enough that they continue to sell well. Stay far, far away from this one, and warn anyone you know who might buy an item like this that it does not work as advertised. 5 out of 5. Nice color. That was long as hell. I really didn't expect that much. So I guess those crucibles are what she's been serving coffee in, like the little glass bottles. Highlighted passages from Thinking About Alchemy the Wrong Way by Sophie Cordova. Most study of alchemy throughout history can be categorized as either practical alchemy, that is, alchemy which aims to understand the world only as well as needed to fulfill certain utilitarian ends, and philosophical alchemy, that is, alchemy which aims to come at a more complete understanding of the world as it is, without prejudice for which portions of alchemical understanding can be wielded to utilitarian ends. In the modern alchemy movement, there has been a tendency within literature to place a greater emphasis on philosophical alchemy based on the premise that coming to a more complete and correct understanding of the universe is the best way for us to discover new practical methods for the physical use of alchemy. Much of this is based on modern scientific movement in the post-Enlightenment era. Much like our understanding of theoretical physics gives us more accurate models of physical reality which have real applications in engineering, having better understanding of alchemy on philosophical level informs our practice of alchemy. However, it may be that this focus on alchemy, which places an emphasis on being correct rather than useful, has thrown out the baby with the bathwater. Admittedly, my position here is hardly biased. The fact that practical studies of alchemy have largely been chased underground is the reason that this tome you're reading is self-published, rather than distributed through more official channels. For example, underappreciated in the development of modern alchemical practices is the use of the 5-element model. Early Aristotelian alchemical models were based on an understanding of 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Later, Aristotelian alchemical models separated elements into 4 categories of earth, water, air, and fire. While this model may be more accurate and reflect the evolution in our understanding of alchemy, it seems to sacrifice the more practical separation of elements in a way that better allows us to understand less tangible things. While wood is not an element strictly speaking, it helps for us to think of it as such. After all, juxtaposing wood against elements such as metal and fire makes it apparent that wood possesses certain soul-like qualities that other elements lack, which might prompt us to question what it is about wood that seems to make it behave like a super element with practical uses beyond the conventional. There is great irony in the fact that while these kinds of questions eventually led us to discard the 5-element model, the new model no longer allows for the existence in this sort of question to exist in academic literature. This book serves as a guide to asking the wrong questions in order to arrive at the wrong answers that nonetheless seem to work. It is a book for troublemakers and rule breakers. Indeed, the fact that you hold this book in your hands right now is probably evidence that you have broken several rules to acquire it. That, or you are a rule enforcer tasked with destroying my work, who for some reason decided to take the time to read it. Perhaps you're reading my work in search of identifying information that may lead you to my location, or you are reading to gain a better understanding of someone whom you consider to be an enemy. Perhaps after reading my work, you'll realize that my ideas are not so dangerous as you've led to believe. Or perhaps you'll realize that they're exactly as dangerous as you've been told. Where was that next one? I think it was here? Yeah. So it was the fisherman, and then there was an Ashley one somewhere around here. Oh, that's new too. I didn't see that one. So there's the fisherman, there's an Ashley one, and then there's Judgment. Is it behind the counter somewhere? I wonder why the color changes back here. Maybe it's because if you're behind the... Because it's not like all behind the counter. It's just this corner. I wonder why that is. Seriously, I could have sworn I saw an Ashley one. We'll look at the fisherman one first. But I'm confused. Is it over by the stairs? Oh, here it is. It's one of the Ashlings. Maddie was about to leave the counter when an old-looking man pushed the door open. He was hunched over, and he walked with a bit of a limp. Even at this distance, she could see the leathery texture of his skin, a testament to many years well lived. Maddie had been about to leave the counter to Che, but there was something about the way this man walked that made her want to stay long enough to see if he had any special requests. She wasn't sure if she would like the man, and in fact, she was fairly sure that there was a good chance she wouldn't have much to say to the man, or much that she would be interested in hearing from him. But it was obvious to the man that the man had paid his dues, and she felt that she owed him at least a few moments of her time. Even if he hadn't done anything in his life worthy of admiration, he had at least done enough to earn her respect. It was only when the man sat down that Maddie saw that his skin was cracked, but not wrinkled. His body had been aged, but it had been aged by the elements and the sun more than it had been aged by the passage of time. The slight limp in his step could have easily been the limp of a young man who had spent one day too many lifting loads that were 1 kilo too heavy for him. He took the seat directly in front of her. "You serve food here?" Apparently the man was more interested in finding out what was on offer than figuring out where he was. Maddie kept herself from visibly smirking. There was something she liked about guests like that, people whose only question was what was on tap. Maddie glanced at Che. He gave a nod of assent. Yes, Che was willing to play the role of grill master today. "We do serve food," she said. The man squinted up at the menu above him. "My eyes don't work too well in this light. Got a paper menu?" Maddie reached under the counter and pulled out a menu that looked just as aged as the man sitting in front of her. Its scars were from coffee stains, not cuts, but as watched the man held the menu, there was something about the combination of the two that felt right to her. The man stared at the menu for a good deal longer than it must have taken him to read everything on it. He finally spoke after a long considered pause. "Do you suppose it would be a problem if I were to order something that I didn't intend to actually eat it?" "That's not the kind of thing that would offend me," said Maddie. Actually, it was the exact kind of thing that would offend her. Yet, there was something in the way that the man asked that made her feel like whatever reason he might have for not eating food he was served, it would be a good one. And she was half interested to find out what the man's reaction would be. "I'll have the grilled halibut," he said. Ah, halibut. She understood. Many people enjoyed the concept of grilled fish more than they liked it in practice. And if this man knew himself well enough to be upfront and honest about that, she could respect that. "I can't promise you it's never been frozen. I hope that's not a problem." "Sounds like my kind of fish," said the man. "The best halibut swim in cold water. Ain't a problem if that water happens to be solid form after the halibut passes." She nodded to Che, who nodded back and headed for the freezer. The man placed both of his hands on the counter and folded them. There was something serene in the way that the man sat there, with no inclination to glance around and inspect the cafe he was in. No nervous movement in his legs, no strained expression on his face to express that he was waiting for something to happen. He looked so calm that Maddie almost didn't want to disturb him, but she chafed at the idea that only squeaky wheels were deserving of grease. Some wheels were just too polite to ask. "Do you want a drink while you're waiting on that?" I don't think I need a drink," said the man. "All right," said Maddie, picking up a whiskey bottle and placing it in his field of view, a reminder of what he was free to ask for. The man squinted. "Is that Jack Daniels?" "Indeed it is," said Maddie. The man's shoulders rose a bit in what looked like barely a chuckle. "Got a fondness for that particular drink?" "It's just that we share the same name," said the man. "I'm putting on my slippers, that's why I'm moving around." "I'm Jack Daniel. No relation to the distiller. I had several friends who took it upon themselves to check. As you might imagine, I've seen a lot of those bottles over the years. It's a kind of gift that people enjoy giving you, when you have a name like that." "Is it a gift that you enjoyed receiving?" "It's always a pleasure to receive a gift. It's nice to know that you have friends who care about you and think about you." "Is it a gift you enjoyed consuming?" "I had a shelf in my flat where I collected them. Waited for other people to come so I'd have an excuse to open them." "Ah," said Maddie, picking up the bottle and placing it below the counter. "Sorry if I brought up a bad memory." He laughed. "Where's the bad memory? They're good to receive from friends, and I'm good to share with friends. It's a reminder of people who I was close to, and the things I did with them. No need to apologize for that." Maddie smiled. She was beginning to find that she liked Jack, and it seemed like Jack was the kind of person who liked her, if for no other reason that he liked people, and Maddie was people. She chuckled with him, and she enjoyed the chuckle so much that she almost missed Jack's momentarily sideways glance, an unguarded moment when his mind seemed to be on something other than what he was talking about. It was only an instant, but it was a flicker of pain that she'd learned to recognize over the years. There was something in him that was hurting, even as he remembered his friends. A sense of loss? A regret about something left unsaid? Maddie wasn't sure. Whatever it was none of her business. But she wanted it to be her business. Well, anything you want, just ask, said Maddie. Cup of water, warm glass of milk. Warm glass of milk? How old do you think I am? Maddie shrugged. 5 or 6, just the right age to drink a tall glass of milk before being shooed off to bed at 8 o'clock in the evening. I'm just barely older, said Jag. But if I do want a glass of milk, I guess I know who I'll ask. The Fisherman won. Jack Daniels. Battle Royale Robots Power Rankings. Windlass. When I first saw the name of this bot, I thought it was styled to be like a girl who could run control storms and run like a ninja. A real last of the wind. Or maybe a girl of the elements, someone with the ability to become the wind itself. If I were a windlast, I could vanish in an instant whenever Maddie appeared. She would look around and say, "Where's Ashley?" And I would be right there, but she wouldn't notice it because I would be one with the wind. Then when she left, I would fade back into the room like a ninja. This would only work outside and in the rooms that are really breezy, so I could probably set up fans in the workshop to make it really drafty. Then I looked it up online and learned that windlass is actually a fancy name for a winch used to pull the anchors up, which at first made me think this bot was lame. It works by hooking its arm under enemy bots and pulling it up to flip them over. It never even tries to smash the other bots to bit or melt it or with fire. But then, I watched it in action, and I realized that flipping your enemy on their back to incapacitate them is the ultimate ninja move. Windlass moves like a master, spending the entire match trying to bait its opponent into exposing its weakness. And then, like a ninja master that knows how to jab at exactly the right pressure point on the back of the neck to make their enemy's head explode, Windlass grabs the enemy bot by the one part of it that just happens to be sticking out at the wrong time, and flips it onto its back. Note, most bots only have wheels or legs on the bottom, not on the top, so when you flip them over, they're totally helpless, and the match is over. To avoid this happening, make sure to put wheels on the top as well. When I make a bot like Windlass, I'm going to call it Badass, because that's what it is. Good to know. And then, of course, we have Judgment. Chase sat in the corner of a cafe with a book in his lap. His eyes danced over the page for several moments, the words on the page illuminated by a candle that sat perched on the armrest of his chair. Then, after several moments passed, he turned the page. He hadn't actually internalized any of the text on the page, nor had he taken in any of the text on the other 50 preceding pages. He was vaguely aware of the fact that the book kept referring to a man named Henry, who Che presumed was the protagonist of the book he held in his lap. But beyond that, knew little to nothing. Che didn't particularly mind this fact. In fact, if he started actually following the story that was told in the pages of this book, he would consider it a great failure. Che enjoyed sitting down with a book, and he enjoyed the platonic ideal of reading. But when it came to telling stories, he found books to be a poor substitute for a person sitting next to him. He didn't pick up books when he wanted to be told a story. He picked up books when he wanted to be alone to situate comfy chair and bask in the candlelight and sit silently in a meditative state. He turned another page. "Hey," said a familiar voice, interrupting him. "I'm in the middle of a book, Ned, if you hadn't noticed." That was the book's secondary function. It deterred people who might see a man sitting alone and seize upon the opportunity to start a conversation when he was not in the mood for conversation. "Is it a good book?" said Ned. "I was enjoying being alone with it," said Che. "Yeah, you look really engrossed. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I got a favor to ask." "Why is it always to ask a favor?" said Che, looking past Ned and speaking to no one in particular, even though there was no one but Ned near enough to hear him speak. "Why is it never, 'Hey, Che, I just wanted to stop by to offer you a favor'?" "I did that one time," said Ned. "You said you were busy, which I figured your way of politely saying, 'Please don't bother me with this kind of visit,' so I stopped." "Did you? I don't remember it." "I'm sure you do remember it. It was back before you started forgetting things. Sometime around, when did the war start?" "You're gonna have to be a lot more specific," said Che. "You know, the war with the soldiers and the guns." "Ah, that war." "I did narrow down a bit, didn't I?" "I'm not that old," said Che. Wars were fought with guns even before I was a young man. Same for you. Did they? Well, it was the war with the, He raised his hand to his face and flicked his helmet, mimicking the unmistakable ping of an M1 Garand. World War II? Which one was that? The one with the Nazis, said Che. That sounds about right. Anyway, I came to ask a favor. I hope that favor it was spend a few minutes of your time having an inane conversation, but we already did that. My, but you're snippy today. What's gotten into you? Che held up the book. A good book is what's gotten into me. Sorry, said Ned. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't urgent. I'm in need of an interpreter. You speak Cantonese, right? Yes, said Che. Great, said Ned. Can I steal you for a few hours? Not if it's to be an interpreter, said Che. Why not? You speak Cantonese, you seem fluent enough in English, so why would you say no specifically to translating? Being an interpreter is not as simple as being bilingual, Ned. Isn't it? I figure you hear things in one language and say them in another. Seems simple to me. Are you literate? Said Che. A bit. Can you write a great work of great literature? Said Che. Nope, said Ned. Well, there you go, said Che. There's more to translating than being bilingual. I feel like being an interpreter in the short term does not require the nuance that proper translation of a work does. Che, I think this is really just to assist in like a transaction or a conversation or something. Oh, come on, said Ned. I'm in a pinch. I'm not asking you to be a great interpreter. I'm just an adequate one. There's lots of bilingual people around, said Che. I'm sure you know other places to ask. Yeah, but you know, I know you're not the kind of person to spill secrets, said Ned. And it's the kind of conversation that I want to be between me and one other person, you know? Great, said Che. Sounds like you need a professional interpreter. I hear they're great at facilitating those kinds of interactions. Come on, said Ned. What can a professional interpreter do that you can't? A lot of things, said Che. But for one, a professional interpreter is someone you can count on to allow you to use their mouth to say incredibly stupid things without letting you or the counterparty know just how stupid they find the interaction. Funny that, said Ned. I always figured that's the kind of thing you'd be good at. Because I'm so good at holding my tongue? Yes. I've tried before, said Che, kicking up his feet. Being an interpreter pays well if you find yourself working for the right people, and it leaves your hands a lot less callous than some of the work I found myself doing instead. But you'll notice my hands have calluses. Turns out holding your tongue is oftentimes harder than digging holes. Come on, you know how to be a diplomat, said Ned. Fuck off, said Che. There, that was me being undiplomatic. Now would you kindly find another solution to your problem, one that doesn't involve me performing another task that I've told you at least twice now that I'm not going to do? Ned started to say something, but stopped just short of making utterance and backed off. Hey, Maddie? No, Maddie replied. I haven't even asked you for anything yet, said Ned. I know, I thought it would save you the time, said Maddie. Ned sighed. What is it with you people? Maddie turned around and Ned and glowered at him. You people? Ned raised his hands defensively. I didn't mean... Look, I just mean that you two are birds of a feather in quite a few ways. Maddie stared at him, and Ned contemplated whether there was any way for him to make a statement grouping Maddie and Che together without making him look worse than he already did. He sighed in frustration. You know what your problem is? Yes, said Maddie. I know him quite well. He's standing right in front of me. They do not like Ned. Like, even a little. Let us continue. We still have about an hour to go before stream ends. Might as well start on another chapter. This is interesting so far. It's not the sort of game that I was 100% expecting, but I am enjoying it. Even though it is mostly a lot of reading. Man, I'd love to see that. I could use a pick-me-up. I can't promise that it'll be there. It's kind of inconsistent. Still though, a hallway that's only there sometimes? How do you get to the kitchen otherwise? There's another slightly longer one that we use instead. It's much less exciting, but on the upside, it's consistently there. I love telling new people about it, though. The reaction's always hilarious. I definitely didn't expect to be getting enthusiastic today over a weird quantum hallway. When people start getting nervous about magic, they usually start trying to explain it using science terms to reassure themselves. Or enthusiastic at all, actually, because as soon as I stop to think about it, I realize I'm actually extremely messed up about this. I understand. Your life has gotten very weird very fast, conceptually speaking. Oh, you're, unlife? I should be better at talking about this by now, shouldn't I? Jeez, that's not a fun one to talk about, huh? Just keep thinking about the hallway so I can keep my mind off this. To be honest, I'm not sure I could even properly explain a lot of what goes on in here. The building's mildly sentient, too much magic in the soil for it not to be, really. So the cafe is alive? Not necessarily. Plenty of things come to life here, but as far as we can tell, the building itself doesn't really fall into that category. Also, it mostly tends to shift itself in ways that are helpful instead of frustrating, so quantum hallways. I'm making myself a cuppa. Australian vernacular for cup of tea, an important cultural institution, especially when drunk in the afternoon. You want something? Nah, I'm good for now. Also, what's the barista's name? I didn't actually catch it and I feel like a jerk. Ah, Maddie? She's the owner now, not just the barista. Still makes coffee, of course, but since she's the owner now, she has a lot more to juggle. Why are you asking? Got your eye on her, eh? No, I have a boyfriend. Had? Oh, jeez, this is a lot. I can't imagine how he's feeling. Try not to think about it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You want that drink now? I think I want something a little more potent than coffee right now. Sorry. Don't enable him, Kishan. Shush. I can get you something stronger, mate. Shot of whiskey, perhaps? A neat bourbon that will always be the perfect mix of classy, yet unpretentious. I thought this was a cafe? Well, it is, mostly. We do serve alcohol, though, and stronger things on request. Stronger? Like what? Baijiu? Absinthe? Pure ethanol? You think a place like this wouldn't have anything stronger than that? Stronger than pure ethanol? Sure. Remind me later if I pull some, and I might pull some out of my special reserve. Don't enable him, Kishan. Hey, someone's got to drink it. I know you're not going to touch the stuff aside from setting it on fire. Excuse me, I have perfectly good reasons for wanting to set a puddle of distilled soul on fire. We'll agree to disagree on that one. So, Kishan. What'll it be? Actually, I changed my mind on the coffee. Can I order something complex? Gonna treat myself on the last day on Earth. I'm after a sugar rush. If we have the ingredients, it shouldn't be an issue. Maddie can whip it up for you. Cool. In that case, can I have a large quadruple shot, double vanilla caramel, no foam, super hot, reverse, coconut milk macchiato? Oh my god. With 2 sugars and a whipped cream on top. Maddie? Yes, dearest. Can you, I don't quite know how. Is this real? Huh. Oh, is it too much? I gotta ask for the shot of whiskey. I was gonna ask for that shot of whiskey Shay mentioned earlier, but it seemed a little extra. Well, yes, it is too much. Don't even think Starbucks would serve that. Why? Because it's a fucked up order, man. Dang. Every single word of that increased my urge to set the espresso machine on fire so I wouldn't have to think about making coffee ever again. Maddie has all the classic symptoms of being a pyromaniac, but she's definitely not a pyromaniac. Oh, but the whiskey's fine. I do that too. I have a counter offer which you have to accept. Yeah? I'll make you another double shot long black and I'll put whiskey in it, but I won't call you a hipster this time. If you decline my offer, on God, I will strip your soul from your body and use it to scrub the counters at closing time. They will smell delicious afterwards, if that's any consolation. Yikes. That does sound like a competitive counteroffer. Not the soul thing. I'll take the coffee. My generosity knows no bounds. Normie? Oh my god. She went from hipster to normie. Truly, this guy is destroyed. So, to conclude, that order sucked because it defies the laws of physics, has a heart attack's worth of sugar in it, and is something only wankers ask for. It defies the laws of physics because it's a reverse macchiato, which is not a thing. Is it possible to die twice? Yep. You can die twice if you're brought back from the dead. Or if you manage to really annoy someone between here and the next place. Which is more likely, because resurrection is illegal. Resurrection is reserved for emergencies, and the council has very particular definitions of what constitutes an emergency. Many centuries pass without a single qualified emergency. But if you're asking whether you can get a heart attack or whatever, the answer is no. Life and death have slightly different meaning here. Can't die from natural causes. It's a bit complex and weird, and we're still in the process of figuring out how it all works. I'm over 200 years old and still haven't made proper sense of it yet. Just some vague ideas. Right. So, what's keeping me from just staying here? Like, I'm already dead. Why do I have to go on to the next place? You got a certain number of hours you're allowed to remain on the edge of the mortal realm. Hours are fungible. Fungible? They can be bought, sold, and exchanged, generally speaking. But the Council of Death always collects on debts owed to them, and you'll start running up debt if you stay here too long. Your soul starts to get itchy, too. Is there any feeling less pleasant than an itch you can't scratch? Probably, but it's still up there. Uh-oh, souls are NFTs. Time is fungible, but souls are not. Though souls are fungible because they distilled them and set them on fire sometimes, I guess. It's not something you want to experience. We've had a few stay past their allotted time, and they've gotten very uncomfortable very fast. Starts with general irritability, then worse things begin to happen. Uh-huh. It's a weird thing to wrap your head around. How long do I have before I need to make myself scarce? You get 24 hours. Any longer, we start picking up the tab since you're on our premises. The terminal is a place where borrowed time has a very literal meaning. And as charming as you are, we've already racked up too much time debt from letting people stick around past their expiry date. We're deep enough in the hole as it is, hours-wise. And cash-wise, we're extremely poor. We've been a bit too lenient in the past, letting people stay here a little longer instead of gently shooing them onto the next plane of existence, etc. You know the drill. But hey, since hours are fungible, you can always acquire them some other way. There's something happening tonight, actually, that you might be interested in. Seriously? You're still doing that? Shush. You know the council doesn't look on that stuff favorably. Ned said so himself. It draws customers and it helps us shave down the debt. I'll take whatever I can get. And hey, fuck Ned. We have a 13-year-old right here, you know. She's heard enough coarse language for a lifetime. I'm not too worried about her. She's right, though. What? Every time Ned comes around, he makes you guys really stressed out. Ashley's at that age where she's learned to recognize when other people are stressed, but not experienced enough to fully understand what it feels like. Maybe not you so much, but Maddie gets nervous and brings down the mood, man. So, fuck Ned. Goodness, I think you have too much coffee today. Oh, there she goes. I am crashing so hard right now, you have no idea. It's like I was crashing earlier, but that was just the pre-crash, and I'm having a double crash or something. All I ask is that you try to keep the swearing to a minimum when customers are around. Okay. Does Kishan count? It's fine. A couple of my housemates are tradies, so you can learn to ignore it pretty quick. A great way to save money on rent and never get lonely if you're not attached to the idea of personal space. Are tradies? Were tradies? Ugh. They're still tradies unless they changed career in the last couple days, but they're not my roommates anymore. Because... Hey, mates, have I mentioned how much being dead sucks? Because it sucks, and I feel extremely bad about it. Having a pretty bad time right now in general, to be honest. Yep. Even just adapting your language is a pain, isn't it? Want a proper drink now? Without coffee in it? Yeah, that'd be good. The TV didn't say anything about there being a storm tonight. Melbourne storm. Noun. A somewhat unusual weather phenomenon known for being the only one of its kind to occur below the Barassi line. Huh. Looks like a decent-sized one's rolling in. Melbourne weather strikes again. I'll go upstairs and close the windows. Cheers. Come on, Ashley. Let's clean up your workbench while we're up there, yeah? Do you need a bribe? Yes. I have some chocolate hidden away. Acceptable. I know what it's like needing a bribe. I often need a bribe. Wait. Dead people can still get drunk, yeah? Why else do you think we serve alcohol? To make money? Well, yeah. Hang on. Do I even have my wallet? Doubt it. I don't, yeah. How does that work? Why do I have my clothes but not the contents of my pockets? A good place for things that don't have a place. Chewing gum, spare change, nervous hands. I don't know, dude. Everyone's experience is different. Death doesn't follow many rules. One only universal rule I can think of is you can't stay. People don't generally come without their clothes, fortunately. So, about this drink. I guess you're gonna give me straight vodka or something? Why is that? You don't like making complex drinks. Dude, no. I don't like making ridiculous caffeine-laced milkshakes for overcompensating soccer dads. I'm happy to mix a cocktail within reason. Oh, okay. What do you got then? Che's got everything you can think of, and then some. I could go for a mint julep. Hey, what's that outside? I would guess that's Ned. Outside? Some guy out in the rain? Oh, shit. Maddie? Maddie, what's up? Let's get started on that drink. Morning. Hi? Hello, recently departed. Hey, that hat you're wearing kind of makes you look like Ned Kelly. I could have sworn you were standing outside literally a second ago. So, how'd this one cark it? Good morning to you too, Ned. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, Madeline. Piss off, Nedward. That's not even my full name. Isn't it, Maddie? Chase said it was, and he never lies. He never said that. Well, no, but it was worth a try. A try at what? Catching me off balance? Some shit along those lines? Mate, I am so off balance right now, a light breeze would knock me head over arse. Don't push me. Hey, this mint julep is great. Just wanted to contribute that to the conversation. So, you catch the game last night? The Australian Football League provides everyone with a chance to root for your favorite local team, unless you're Tasmanian. No. And I don't care to discuss the egg sport with you or anyone else, so don't try it. Oof. Just making polite conversation. You should try it sometime. Maybe. Not for you, though. You've never come in during daylight hours before. What do you want? Nothing much. I'd like to talk to Che at some point, but that can wait, seeing as he's missing. Planning on sending out a search party? Might do. Be ashamed to lose an old friend by letting him wander into some train tracks or something. Yeah, well, shut up. Coffee acquired. Teeps has the coffee. He's upstairs last I saw. What was the last you saw, Batty? Tell me. Why are you like this? What was it? Last saw him walking upstairs. So he could be anywhere then. Probably fled the country to dodge massive time debt you lot are racking up. Some obligations have a way of following you, no matter where you run to. He can't go far. I've got him on a pretty tight leash. And in regards to the debt, that's not your problem. You must not have heard. Not your problem. Che, your dickhead friend Ned is here. Oi, I'm a distinguished gent, not a dickhead. I'll be down in a sec. Yeah, sure. Can you also work for the Council of... But you also work for the Council of Death. So even if you are a distinguished gent, it cancels out. Is the Council of Death like a normal city council, except for wherever dead people live? Yeah, but the only trash that needs to be collected is right in front of me. This guy? Me? No. You. You're the trash, Ned. The trash is you. It's you Ned, the trash man from hell. Because councils pick up trash. That's the joke. Oh, cool. He's even got a head shaped like a rubbish bin. This munted dick fart you call your friend is here. Shay, come kill him. If only. It's totally fitting. I'm not from hell. I don't care. And to be clear, Ned, in case we weren't already, you are the trash. Yeah, I get it. You know how long Che's gonna be? Dunno. He was busy upstairs with Ashley. Yeah, I had to hide like 5 steak knives from her. I don't know how we had 5 steak knives. Bit quiet there, mate. How long you been sitting there? Does it matter? Well, your employee's being very rude to me. So if you'd heard any of that... I keep trying to tell him. Ah, my employee, yes. We have some catching up to do. I don't follow. Did she quit? Maddie's not one to back away from a challenge, but if she did, she wouldn't be the first. Did you fire her for gross incompetence? Far from it. There's been a bit of a shakeup in the cafe's management structure since you last visited. Oh no, don't tell me you gave her the whole thing. Okay, I won't tell you. I tried to tell you before, man. Hey, does anyone else like mint juleps? Because this is great, I'm nearly done, but also my tongue is numb, and I'm wondering what the deal is with that. Was there something you wanted to discuss? I need a drink before we go through all that. Sure. The usual? Yes, please. How come he gets a curly straw? You got Kags and Relink and now she's never leaving my party? Of course she's not. How could she? She's a legend. So, Che, spin me a tale of how and why you handed down the cafe to this person. Well, every man's got his price. Can my price be a curly straw too? Buddy, I'll give you 2 if it means you'll stop complaining about numb lips. Yeah, what did you make this with? I couldn't find half the ingredients, so I put in a bunch of baijiu and chili seeds. It's got some of the stuff though, so it's a mint julep in spirit if nothing else. Does this have any mint or julep in it? At all? It definitely may be lacking mint, and I cannot confirm nor deny the existence of that mythical julep. To some people, this place seems otherworldly. For others, this is just the world they live in. You asked for baijiu earlier, so there you go, mission complete. Maddie, I'm getting very drunk very fast. Baijiu that will do that to you. Here, I think you should have a little lie down. I'll get you some water. I'm as strong as an ox. I don't need no lie down. Calling me for some reason? Kishan, my dude, you absolutely need to get horizontal as soon as possible. You can sober up in one of the booths in the back. It's nice and quiet over there. I'll fight you. I'll win though. Up to you get, mate. Bloody hell. If it would have been more helpful if you told me about this before. Probably. I'm not worried about it. Maddie knew what she was getting into with this whole cafe situation. And it's natural that it might take a while for her to get the hang of running a business. Bloody hell. She put rat poison in it? Of course she did. Why wouldn't she? Bit of a dog's dinner though, isn't it? Ned would know. Oh, for sure. But it'll get better. Like I said, not worried about it. Well, you might want to hold your judgment on that for the moment. I am, unfortunately, here for official business. Oh. I shouldn't have given you the straw then. No, you shouldn't have. I look quite silly. Want me to get rid of it? It's just Maddie. She won't use it to derail our conversation or make me look like a fool or anything like that. To read Ned's dialogue with a British accent? Necrobarista. Shut up, we will never speak of this again. Oh, I'll remember it though, Teeps. I'll remember it. Is it possible to die twice? You have a reputation as a hater after all. Wait until I show everyone your chat history. Oh fuck, it's been witnessed. Someone clip that. That was kind of intense. Do they do that often? That song and the dance thing? Yeah, what do they think they are? Some sort of anime street gang? What sort of self-obsessed jerk has their own theme song? Don't be a downer, pal. No, I was talking about the dramatic encounter. Oh, between Maddie and Ned? Yes. Yeah, they've got chemistry. Not the romantic kind. The explosive kind. No one clip that, I'll delete it. We won't clip it, Teeps, don't worry. Can't leave them in the same room together or they'll kill each other. Bad history? Maddie's just serially troublesome person, from Nem's perspective. Doesn't help that she can't stop herself from pulling pranks on him. No, I suppose not. I mean, he doesn't make it easy either. I don't think he's used to having his authority questioned. She really gets under his skin. Wasn't he a famous criminal? And therein lies the irony of the situation. What a strange world we live in. Necrobarista. This shouldn't be a depressing memory for any of us. Doodle mode is now available. What the fuck? Doodle mode? What does that mean? Doodle mode? Quick, say her name. I got her on speaker. Hi, Ellie! Hello, Ellie! Hi! Hi, Ellie! Meow, meow! Meow, meow! Billiards 1. Maddie's inbox. She started sniffing my phone. Good. Keep the balance. What is doodle mode? I must find out what doodle mode is. I can't go downstairs. Ugh. Supposedly I can talk to Ashley to enable doodle mode, but I don't know what that means or where she is. Delicate operation. The Fisherman 2. Kate smell confirmed strong enough to transcend the screen. It's all those coffee beans. From Jeanette Annette, GeneBean19@yahoo.com. Subject, Spirit Beacon leaking. Date, January 25th, 2014 at 7:30:58 a.m. To admin@terminalvelocity.org. Hi, Madeline. This is Jeanette from the location down by the docks. I believe we met in person for the first time last month. I was opening up this morning and I noticed that most of our spirit juice was gone. I checked the map and saw that you're the nearest location with a spirit beacon. I think you may have drained some of our supply. Honest mistake, I'm sure. But if you could stop running your spirit beacon during peak hours, that'd be much appreciated. Thanks, and looking forward to working with you in the future. Jeanette. From Jeanette Annette, GeneBean19@yahoo.com. Subject, RE Spirit Beacon leaking. Date, January 28th, 2014, 1:59 p.m. To admin@terminalvelocity.org. Hi, Madeline. Hope you got my previous message. Just wanted to give an update on the spirit juice situation over here. I had several bottles that I marked last night just to confirm the issue, and when I got this morning, the levels were below where I marked them. We're stealing spirit juice? Fuck yeah, we are. We're definitely losing spirit juice, and you're the only spirit beacon close enough to be affecting us. Please modulate your use to reasonable levels. I don't think this should be a problem as long as you're not running your beacon overnight. Again, not trying to assign blame here, but please be considerate to folks at other locations. Thanks, Jeanette. From Jeanette, GeneBean19@yahoo.com. Subject, RE, Spirit Beacon leaking. January 31st. Hey, that's today. 2014. Hey, that's not today. 7:37 p.m. Fuck you, Jeanette. To admin at terminalvelocity.org. Madeline, we are draining spirit juice over here so fast that if I sit and watch, I can see it disappearing from the bottle. You're the only spirit beacon that is even remotely close to where we are, so we really need you to stop. If it's affecting us, then it's probably affecting other locations. This is completely unacceptable. Fix this now. Jeanette. We stealing spirit juice here? Better fucking pack up and leave if you don't want to give us all your spirit juice. Maddie's turning up the suck juice in spite. I love that none of these have responses. From Jeanette, Jean, I guess it is only her inbox. Subject RE, Spirit Beacon leaking. February 1st, 2014, 7:37 p.m. To admin at terminalvelocity.org. Hey, Madeline, care to explain to you why you weren't at the terminal today when I showed up? I spoke with a girl named Ashley, who said you decided to take the day off. What a coincidence. I was not impressed by the crying routine you had her do. Honestly, you should be ashamed of using a child's fake tears to try and hide from a situation that you caused. Turn off your beacon. I don't want to be the bad guy here, but if you don't have if you don't do something, I'm gonna have to get the council involved. From Clarence From at yahoo.com. Subject, misplaced cutlery. Hi, Maddie. This is Clarence from the docks location. I just wanted to give you a heads up. This morning we found out that the site manager we recently hired, I believe you met Gina last month, was leaving spirit juice in untempered glass bottles, and we had a bit of a leak. We ended up having a problem with some animated cutlery. We have this situation under control over here, and we're mostly sure everything is accounted for on our end. Unfortunately, this started happening about a week ago, which might be enough for something to wander off far enough that we wouldn't be able to detect it. Very unlikely that this happened, but wanted to give you a heads up in case a possessed steak knife wandered off far enough to find your beacon and decides to pay you a visit. Sorry about this situation. Rest assured that the person responsible for this won't have any opportunities to mess up anything of this magnitude ever again. Turns out it was Jeanette's fucking fault. Bitch. And now Maddie's gonna get killed by a possessed steak knife. Honestly, not surprising. By the way, are you planning on going to M's birthday next month? No, we're also just stealing it. Oh, we stole the steak. We stole the steak knife too. I see. Regards, Clance. From Maddie Zhao at admin at terminalvelocity.org. Subject, RE misplaced cutlery. Date, October 12th, 2014, 6:42 p.m. To Clance From at yahoo.com. Hi, Clance. Sorry I misread your message. You missed your message earlier. I no longer use this address. Please use contact at terminalvelocity.org for anything related to terminal business. Hope you enjoyed M's birthday party. I don't remember why I couldn't attend, but I'm sure it was a good reason. Maddie. So Jeanette was actually just emailing her at an email she literally didn't use. You're overdue this week, said Ned. He taps a list of rules that Maddie kept posted by the door. This 24-hour rule. Are you sure you've been enforcing it? I think we know how we run things around here is none of your business, said Maddie. Actually, it is absolutely my business. In fact, keeping the rules is basically my only business. That's kind of what the word enforcer means. I'm supposed to scold you for breaking the rules. I can't believe Sony killed Bloodborne cart. I can believe it. I'm just so disappointed. So audit me. Fine, said Ned. Let me check your ledger. We don't keep a ledger, said Maddie. Maybe you should, said Ned. Lots of places do. It's a great system. You have someone stand at the door and have them mark down whenever somebody comes in or leaves. Then you forcibly evict people who are overstaying their welcome. I'm amazed you don't have a system like that in place. Some people overstay their welcome, other people understay it, said Shay. There's no need to strictly keep track of how long people stay, right? Just maintain the balance. You're right, said Ned. All that matters is maintaining the balance. So maintain the balance, because when you don't, then we have a problem. We're a bit short-staffed. We had to have someone acting as a full-time doorman, said Maddie. Figure it out, said Ned. He tapped the board, listing the rules. Change 24 hours to 23 hours. When you say 24 hours, people think you colloquially mean 1 day, and they don't pay attention to the specific time. When you say 23 hours, people actually have to keep track of what time it is. That would be fine, said Che, except for the part where you're cutting time out of people's stay. Trust me, said Ned. Anyone who would go right up to the limit is probably going to go over it. 23 hours is going to mean 23 hours plus an extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour, half hour plus however long it takes to finish their drink. We'll now get soul birth racing. And if they leave in less than 24 hours, who gives a shit? I give a shit, said Che. You're right. You should give a shit. In fact, you should celebrate whenever someone managed to scooch someone out of here under 24 hours, because the balance is upset and you've got to correct it. You can either correct the balance 1 hour at a time, or the council can come in here and repossess some souls. Or we can find someone who knows how to manage this property responsibly. Happy burped pay. Thanks, Fen. He turned to Che. Come on, buddy. I don't want to have to take this place away from you. That would be quite the escalation, said Maddie. Well, you're already in the first level of escalation, which is a stern talking to, said Ned. Let's try not to escalate it any further. Che sighed. Maddie cut him off. We'll change the rule to 23 hours. Okay, buzz off. Wow, really? Said Ned. Well, okay then. And while you're rewriting the signs, you should probably also take green tea frappuccino off the menu. Frap should be for coffee, not tea. Done, said Maddie. Wait, really? Said Ned. Damn, I didn't realize you're so open to feedback. Also, that caramel. We'll take it under advisement, said Maddie, placing a hand on Ned's chest and physically pushing him towards the door. Hold up, said Ned. What are you doing? Removing an unwanted guest, said Maddie. I need to practice if we're going to start enforcing... Oh, thank you for the subscription, Valerie. Uplink, happy birthday. You making waves? No. I'm pushing a Council of Death enforcer out of the door right now. In the past. That's not happening right now. Right now we're being repoed. Which is awesome. I need to practice if we're going to start enforcing these rules you care so much about. Now said Ned as he continued backpedaling to stay upright. Look, you could just... Bye, said Maddie as Ned crossed the threshold of the cafe and Maddie shut the door in his face. She turned around, leaning her back against the door, and sighed. Che raised an eyebrow. You're serious about this rule change? Yeah, said Maddie. I'll change the sign in the menu after we close tonight. Wait, really? The rule change is to keep him off our back, said Maddie. And the menu thing? I've been meaning to take that off anyway. It's the kind of menu item that attracts the worst sort of people. Well, okay, said Che. Though I do think we should change the rule back to 24 hours after the things have had enough time to balance out. Of course, said Maddie. We would not have set the balance too far in the opposite direction. What would we do with all that extra time anyway? So do you think she ever actually changed it? Because I get the vibe she didn't. Seeing that they're still 600 hours in time debt. Ashley stepped behind the counter and winced as the floor creaked under her feet. Maddie was nowhere to be seen, but Maddie did possess a remarkably sharp sense of hearing. Luckily, the cafe was empty as Ashley tiptoed to the case where Maddie kept the baked goods. Ashley lifted the glass lid off the case and closed her eyes as the scent of yesterday's lamingtons wafted up and overwhelmed her. Ashley had spent most of her life convinced that she didn't like coconuts, but that had changed the day that Che introduced her to lamingtons. Beat her to death? No, she's 13. We're not doing that. To be fair, Ashley still wasn't sure that she actually liked coconut. Chocolate frosting could make anything taste good. But she couldn't deny the cake's irresistible allure. Ashley lifted a lamington from the case and gently set the lid back down. She raised the lamington to her lips and opened her mouth to take a bite. Ashley? In a moment of panic, Ashley shoved the pastry into her mouth and sealed her lips. Her mouth was quickly overwhelmed by the pastry's thick frosted covering, but she did her best to choke it down before turning to face Maddie. Said Ashley, hoping that her cheeks didn't betray what was inside. Ah, good, you're here. It was a bad sign anytime Maddie expressed pleasure at seeing Ashley. Normally, Maddie wavered between being annoyed at Ashley's presence and being indifferently tolerant of her. Anytime Maddie was happy to see Ashley, it meant work. I need you to deliver something to Che for me, said Maddie, turning to the counter to pick up a small bottle of something. As Maddie turned her attention to the bottle, Ashley took advantage of her momentary distraction to gulp down the remainder of the pastry. No time to chew, but her teeth wouldn't have done much good with the thick frosting. You're not busy, are you? Said Maddie. Ashley shook her head no. The pastry was no longer inside her mouth to create a conspicuous bulge of her cheeks, but opening her mouth would reveal the thick chocolate frosting that was still presumably present on her teeth. So she kept her lips sealed. I need you to do my taxes. The IRS has like a new form that makes taxes way easier to do, so you could probably just use that. I can help though, as long as you don't mind me seeing all your tax information and skimming a little off the top. Legally, I don't skim anything off of taxes. Good, said Maddie. He's upstairs. Get to him ASAP. She handed the bottle to Ashley, and Ashley found herself surprised by how light the bottle was. Looking down, she could see the bottle had thin walls. Within those thin walls, it contained some sort of clear liquid, and its seal was held in place by a metal clamp, hermetically sealed. Ashley turned towards the stairs, holding the neck of a bottle in one hand, and let out a sigh. One last thing. Ashley swallowed her sigh with a gulp and closed her mouth before facing Maddie, lips tightly shut. Be careful not to drop it, said Maddie. Thousands could die if you spill any of it. In any other situation, Ashley would have asked Maddie a probing question to figure out what was in the bottle, or get some idea of the significance of the task that had been assigned to her. Significant enough to get that thousands of lives held in the balance, but apparently not important enough for Maddie to do it herself. But Ashley's lips remained sealed, and she merely nodded and turned around. I haven't worked enough to warrant filing yet. Same here. But next year. I mean, generally, if you're working an employment position, they withhold enough that no matter how much you work, you will get a kickback. So no matter how much you file for, you really should file if you're, like, properly employed. Unless you're, like, it's like a mom and pop where they don't automatically withhold a certain amount for taxes. Lamingtons were not meant to be consumed in a single bite, especially by mouths as small as Ashley's, and the thickness of the frosting that lingered in her mouth and throat made her desperate enough to ask for some kind of drink, but she dared not ask for one. Part-time? No, I know part-time. I would always do the same thing. Like, you won't get much, but, like, generally you will get something back if you're working part-time employed. Ashley looked down at the bottle, unsure of the best way to carry it. The bottle was slightly too large for her to hold in just one hand, and grasping it in front of her hand with two hands felt awkward. The bottle wasn't heavy, but Ashley's confidence in her ability to carry the bottle without dropping it was less than perfect. Should she cradle it under her arms protectively? No, that seemed like it put her at greater risk of fumbling the bottle. The crook of her elbow wasn't as dexterous as her fingertips. She settled for carrying the bottle with one hand placed on the bottom to hold the weight, and the other hand wrapped around the neck to steady it. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to carry wine. Ashley walked slowly with the bottle as she ascended the stairs. Maddie hadn't told her the liquid was volatile, and the bottle was hermetically sealed, so there was zero chance of anything spilling out. But that didn't change the sense of trepidation Ashley felt. Armed with the knowledge that there were potentially thousands of lives at stake, she cringed every time she saw the liquid sloshing inside the bottle, leaping up and lapping at the edge of the seal. Since there's only 6 minutes left to stream and you work sleepy, so good night. Good night, Teeps! I hope you enjoyed what you saw of Necrobarista. Ashley realized her arms were shaking and pressed the bottle against her chest, hoping to steady it. As Ashley's hands shook nervously with the bottle held against her chest, she wondered if the large amount of sugar she had just forced down her throat had something to do with the shaking. It was more likely that their shaking was a result of their being told that thousands of lives could be lost if she dropped the bottle. Still, the lingering taste of the pastry in her mouth didn't help. It sucked 0 out of 10, not enough violence against cops. Well, we're willfully ignoring our debt to a city council, so maybe that'll help. Ashley silently lamented the fact that she had been forced to consume the lamingtons so abruptly. Lamingtons were a treat to be savored, not shoved into one's mouth in a moment of panic. She hadn't even had the chance to properly enjoy it. It was too hard to simultaneously feel the pleasure of a tasty treat and the panic of being caught. Whatever the outcome of this errand, she had wasted a wonderful pastry. Several agonizing minutes later, Ashley arrived at the top of the stairs and spotted Che standing at a handrail. As she walked up, Che turned to face her, and she presented him with the bottle. Ashley cleared her throat of any lingering stickiness before speaking. "Maddie said you needed this?" "Ah, good," said Che. "I was running low." Ashley gasped with relief as Kay took the bottle from her and started taking deep, labored breaths, suddenly becoming aware how high her heart rate was. Che popped open the seal of the bottle and splashed some of it onto a rag. Several drops dripped on the floor, and Ashley let out a terrified squeak. "Something wrong?" said Che. Maddie said that thousands of lives could be destroyed by what's in that bottle." "Well, that's the idea," said Che as he folded the rag and ran it along the railing that overlooked the cafe's ground level. "It's supposed to kill 99% of all bacteria. That still leaves hundreds of bacteria alive, but I try not to think too hard about that part." Ashley's jaw dropped. "It's disinfectant?" "Yeah," said Che. "Why, didn't Maddie not tell you?" Ashley's shoulders slumped in a mix of relief and exasperation. "She only told me that it could kill thousands." "And you didn't ask what she meant by that?" "No, I was preoccupied." "Huh," said Che. He turned his attention back to the railing, inspecting it for a moment before continuing to wipe it. Ashley turned to head back downstairs. "By the way, Ashley," turned to face Che. He reached out and placed a finger on her shirt, wiping off a bit of frosting. He raised it to his finger and smelled it. "Chocolate?" he said. "Yes," said Ashley. "One of Maddie's lamingtons?" "Yes," said Ashley. Che nodded and licked the frosting off his finger. "Go downstairs and bring one up for me too, will ya?" Delicious chocolate. And we do have billiards, but I don't think we're going to have enough time for me to read this. So I am just going to wish you all an excellent rest of your day. Thank you all for stopping by for my little birthday stream. I appreciate the subscriptions and everybody saying happy birthday. It's very nice of you. On Friday, we're going to be starting Fallout New Vegas, which I'm really looking forward to. And then on Sunday, we're getting into Stalker. I don't remember which is the first one, but I think it's Clear Sky. So we're going to be starting with that one. Anyways, I hope to see you later. I'm actually going to find somebody to raid, which I didn't think to do. I don't have the energy that some people have for like birthday marathons or anything. But I appreciate you guys stopping by for this little birthday stream I decided to do. I am going to send you guys to PG Pill again. Highlight my message, Bean. It sure did. It highlighted the fuck out of it. I will see you guys on Friday. I hope you have an excellent rest of your week. Say hi to Peachy for me. And I'm gonna bounce. Bye-bye.